It's time for Clinique Gift at Dillard's, and your free 7-piece gift has everything you need for a flawless fall look. Start with our new Moisture Surge Hydrator for an instant 179% moisture boost. Plus, take home our must-have 2-in-1 lip color and primer, totally tugless makeup remover, award-winning mascara, and portable foundation stick. It's all you need for fall, free, with your Clinique purchase of $28 or more. One to a client, please, while supplies last. Only during Clinique gift time at Dillard's from August 30th to September 10th.
Hey, here we go. Check this out.
This is Whole Nother Level with Dwayne Lindo.
You know, frankly, I feel that we shouldn't even be talking about this. Simple as that.
The great L. Bushman.
They'd have to make so many adjustments, but I don't know what they have to do. They need a miracle. They need a miracle.
Frank Mazzei.
Did they win the offseason in free agency? Yes. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Craig Cousin.
How can you not put Tom Brady number one on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks? Man, this guy's a legend. Rings speak.
And Eric Wilson.
I didn't know Eric was going to let you talk.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. I've seen enough Facebook posts to know that you're not a Giants fan. Let's go. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Whole nother level right here, HNL3 in studio. I'm your man, Eric Wilson. I am joined by the great L. Bushman. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, good morning.
It is a great time of year, man. I cannot believe it is finally back here upon us. College football is in full swing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, preseason, thank the Lord, is finally over.
And we're back in studio.
But the season is upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL season is upon us. I am so excited. So much to talk about today. So much to get into. We've got our man Trent Brinkley calling in. We're talking a little college head coaching, first-year college head coaches. We got a special guest. Our man Darrington Glover is going to be joining us, sitting in with us today. But my man Jay Riley already on Facebook Live saying, go Bulls. So go Bulls, go USF. I know you're not you are in true Florida State gear. I think this is the first time I've seen you in like full FSU gear, man.
This is game day, man.
Well, I know.
We're going against Alabama.
Wow, yeah, that's a big game.
This is the big game tonight.
Big game. Big shout out to my brother Justin. Good morning, bro. What's going on? But anyhow, as always, the number to call and chime in, 813-699-5353 is the number. Great L. Bushman, before we get to college,
sure,
let's talk Go Browns. Well, my brother Justin, he's a Cleveland fan. So listen, bro, I got you week one. After that, I can't say much, but go Browns. All right.
Has anybody actually even said that in reality is go Browns?
Yeah, Kristen says it all the time.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's just sad.
Yeah, well, so does LaHerd, even though he walked out of our show.
It's sad.
But let's talk a little NFL because this is, like I said, this is our time of year. All the injuries that have been happening over the past preseason, the past 3 to 4 weeks, has really stunk up some people's fantasy football. Not to mention, on the flip side of that, you got Zeke, who I'm pretty sure he's going to start week one.
Yep.
So everybody who picked him up in the 4th and 5th round and later rounds because they were like, oh, he's going to be suspended this many games. Yeah, you just got to steal.
Yes. A lot, like myself included, he was pretty much off my draft board.
Right.
But, and now, look, Martavius Bryant, he's reinstated. He's going to start week one.
My man, I told you.
I'm happy about that.
I'm
He's on my
extremely happy
team,
about
but,
that one.
You know, you brought up the point with preseason. Do we really need 4 games?
I say no.
I say no as well. I agree with you.
I completely say no. I feel that, and it's not just about the fantasy aspect of it. It's about the health of these players. You know, as NFL fans and us as commentators and analysts, we want to see the guys who we want to see go out there each and every week and perform. Now, if you get injured during the regular season, hey, that's just par for the course. That's the nature of the job. But preseason, I get it. You need to shake off some ring rust. I get it. You need to, get yourself back into the flow of things. But 4 games, I don't see necessary.
By game 3, I'm about done.
Yeah.
I'm about, okay, let's start the season.
I completely agree.
Which is funny because, and you can't, I look at baseball spring training.
Okay.
And how baseball spring training is actually, it's about a month long of games. But it's actually, they're fun to go to.
Right.
preseason football, not so much.
No.
Why is that?
Because we know that the guys that we want to see play
Aren't going to play.
either they're going to be there for maybe the first quarter,
Right.
or they're not playing at all. They're just on the sidelines to be there in support of their team.
I want to honestly say I think the health of these guys going 4 games, because even by game 2, I'm just like, okay, can we get this thing started?
Yeah. I would say 3 is. I mean, to me, I would say 3, but I don't feel it necessary to put out 4 games every single year because injuries happen, and now you've got guys who are sidelined. They're not going to start week 1. Week 1, people. Which let me just put this in perspective for you. Today is Saturday. Okay, we have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days, 4 whole days of nothing. And then the season erupts with New England, Kansas City, Thursday night. We don't even got to wait till next Sunday, like 8 days. I'm so excited. I'm almost dropping my phone. We have Thursday night. It's going down, people. Not to mention, the great Al Bushman and myself, along with the rest of the crew, is going to be at the Office Bar. Yes, shameless plug, I know. 1989 Ringling Boulevard for the kickoff.
That was nice. That was a good plug.
To the season.
That was a good plug.
And then, of course, season 2, as I have always said, y'all need to get your popcorn ready. Season 2, we are back at old school. I went down and saw Carl last night. He's excited. I'm excited. I didn't realize today Michigan was playing Florida.
Even though everybody's pretty much suspended from that game.
On both teams or just Florida?
Florida, they just added 2 more guys, so it's 10 players suspended, and Michigan has 8. So it's the guys that they're like the second or third string guys.
Well, okay, we're still cheering for Michigan in this particular game here. We are.
Go blue.
Yes, go blue.
Go blue.
But I mean, it's just crazy to think that I remember our show Super Bowl Sunday, and I was like, oh man, football's over. We got basketball. Of course, we got the Rays. So, I mean, it was working. And I do want to touch on them a little bit today. I do. But
I have started to watch again.
Listen, they got to defend the turf, man.
I know. Well, no, they're almost in it again for the wild card.
Right.
They're back to 500.
So they got to the shot. It's not over. There's some light.
I know. There's some light at the end of the tunnel.
At the end of the tunnel for the Rays.
So actually watch them again.
Good. I'm glad. You've been kind of like a little butthurt for.
I haven't been butthurt, but it's just the way they've been playing it. But I've been focusing on fantasy football and football coming up. So
how many leagues are you in?
I'm in 6, and my last draft is tomorrow. But the thing with this draft is I've been in this league for so long. I just auto draft.
Okay.
And it's a weird league too because it's a 2-quarterback league. It's crazy weird points. I won like last year.
Yeah, I know. You told me you auto draft and you wound up winning. I still don't understand how that happened.
I'm gonna do it again. Because I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
This is true.
So
very true. I mean, that's trying to break up a happy marriage. But what I am more concerned with is our league that we have going on.
We're facing off week 1.
I know.
You know that.
Yeah. I got to face you. Of all people to start off my fantasy season 2 fantasy football league against, I got to go against the guy who I see literally every single day. And I mean,
do you want to make a side bet on this?
No, I'm not.
No side bets.
No side bets.
You have no confidence in your team whatsoever.
I have confidence. Listen,
you were about to say you have very little confidence.
No, I'm saying I have very little. Like I don't really trade much. Like last year when I was in the other league that Dr. CC was in. Like every week, people are trying to get this guy from me. They were trying to get Brandon Marshall from me, trying to get Jordy Nelson from me, trying to get Derek Carr from me. And I was like, guys, this is my first year. I'm not that stupid here, okay? If a guy is going to get me 30, 40 points, because of how the league is done, why would I give him because you can put no, people. Listen, I do have some football acumen here.
Okay? I may stir the pot, as you well may have known this past week. I stir the pot just to see if there's any activity. I hardly trade, though. Because when it comes down to it, you have to look at the waiver wire, you have to look at positions and rankings and stuff like that.
Plus, we're in a 10-man league, so there are still a lot of good players.
And don't judge us by 10 people. We're supposed to have a 14, but then we had 4 people drop out.
Yeah, they canceled out.
Don't say, 10-man league. No, trust me. We wanted it to be 14.
We did. We really did. And I had actually my 14-man roster lined up. But then when you said when we decided that we were going to 10, I was like, oh, okay, well then I'm just going to and move you, and I'm getting you, and –
I did a draft last week, and after the draft was over, I was like, I'm going to lose. like, I thought I drafted well, and I looked at my team. I'm like, fuck, this team sucks. It's like, why did I let myself do that?
Well, you got caught up in it. Are you doing the Survivor Pool with me?
I am not going to do the Survivor Pool.
Okay.
I have to pay so much attention to my 6 fucking teams.
All right.
And then DraftKings and FanDuel. I can't overload myself with that.
All right.
No, I can't.
I'm just saying because I have to get Pete. I have to get Pete his money. You can
count me out of this.
All right, that's fine.
So much other things.
I may come to you though a few weeks because this pot every year is over like 19 grand. So
you're gonna
of course
I'll cut you
in.
Okay.
Yeah. That's gonna leave you out. I mean, I'm doing 4 picks this year.
Okay.
So I get one. Kathy gets one. Her and I are going to do one together. And then my brother Russell's going to do one.
Okay.
So we got 4 going on.
I got you.
But, okay.
Going back to the NFL.
Going back to the NFL, I want to talk about Zeke because I do want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
He was suspended 6 games. They appealed it. And now there is talk that he could possibly start week 1 Sunday night against the Giants. How are you feeling about this?
I think I was a rush to judgment on this when we talked about this a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Because the past few years we had something every single year with a different player. With it would be somebody hitting his kids, dogs, somebody hitting his wife, any kind of abuse whatsoever. But the reports have come out now since they have now appealed this. And it's going to arbitration on Monday. And they actually the guy that's supposed to make the final ruling has been made to rush this ruling because they want to get him for the season.
Exactly.
The evidence that has come out, and since he hasn't really formally been charged by the Dallas PD, I know the NFL is trying to save face, but okay, we're making an example of somebody that has been accused of something but hasn't formally been charged, and now all the information that's been coming out about his ex-girlfriend where she's telling people to lie for her. There's text messages. She's looking to be kind of an unstable person, basically to ruin his career. So I look at it now and I wouldn't want to say it's just another NFL player getting caught up in the wrong situation. I'm sure something did happen.
Okay.
But now I think it's on both sides now because now you have evidence with her where she's kind of manipulating people and trying to get him and throwing him under the bus.
Right.
So if they're going to suspend him, I would at least say suspend him 2 games because I'm sure something did happen.
Okay.
Now, he hasn't been charged yet.
Right.
So but you never know. He could get off on this and play the full season. So my thoughts on it now, it's just another NFL player that's put himself in a bad situation.
But, and I agree with you, which is very rare for me to say.
Not that I'm saying, domestic violence is a good thing. It's a very bad thing. Like I say, it's now become, from what we see now, it's now become a he said, she said.
Yes.
It's now become that.
Right.
So now I look at it as, if he gets suspended, he gets suspended. If he gets off, I'm not going to be surprised.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I was going to say to you. Was I quick to rush to judgment? Listen, it's the Cowboys. I'm always quick to rush to judgment because I don't like them.
And rightfully so.
However, and the court of public opinion is always first to get out there and say, here's how we feel it should go down.
Right.
We don't wait until the evidence. So I will agree with you. What I will say, though, to you is this. When it comes to Ezekiel Elliott, this stuff with him has carried over.
Right. And he's had this stuff since college that spoiled over into the NFL.
Exactly.
So, and like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if he gets suspended or not.
Right. But for me, I'm looking at it from the case of, okay, you're basing what you're going to suspend him on.
Right.
Again, on his body of work.
Right.
And it's only 1 season, but granted, his 1 season, he really produced as a rookie. So that's why he may start week 1. I'm in complete agreement with you. This is not something to be taken lightly. However, if it does come down to a he said, she said kind of argument, which is what's coming out now transpiring after the fact, then yes, I feel the sentence should be reduced. I'm not saying go from 6 to 2. I'll say I'll meet you in the middle at 3.
Okay.
But I don't feel he is warranted the full 6 games.
Right.
Again, I go back to this is why if you are an athlete in any sport, if you're a public figure.
Take a look at Derek Jeter's body of work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly it. If you want to find a way to be successful as an athlete in the professional sports, be it baseball, basketball, hockey, football, tennis, golf, lacrosse, whatever. Take a look at Derek. Derek, you need to write a book. How to be successful as a pro athlete.
Yeah, you should, because the body of work with women-wise, he's dated nothing but models and actresses that have been successful.
Right.
So if you're an NFL player, MLB player, any kind of athlete, date a woman that's richer than you.
Yep.
Because that way she won't get you for any kind of money.
Perfect example, Tom Brady.
Exactly.
And he's got 5 rings and a beautiful wife and 3 kids to show for
and
it.
She makes more money than him.
And she don't need him.
No, she doesn't.
That's what you need to do. Athletes, you need to rise up your level. The woman on your arm need to be better than you. That's the way it need to be. I'm just saying. Take it from 2 men who have been down that road, because we have done the same thing. Our women don't need us, but they love us. Anyhow, let's take a break. When we come back, I'm sure man Darrington will be joining us. You are listening to us, HNL3, live in studio at Cowork. We are on Raw Talk Online. We are on iTunes. We are on Rat Pack Sports Radio. Big shout out to our girl, Kim Tufflin, from the Sarasota Bucks crew. Much love to you. Big shout out to my man, Sean Durnan, following me on Facebook Live. We will be right back.
Hold up, son. Word. Yeah.
And welcome back to HNL3, live at Cowork. It's your man, Eric Wilson, joined by the great L. Bushman. 813-699-5353 is the number. Can I just say thank you? Because, you play some truly dope music.
Awesome music, thank you.
On Saturdays, man. I know, during the week we got to play certain things. When we're going to be at Old School and Office Bar, we cater to the fans. But on Saturdays, man, you really bring it home, brother. So I just got to say thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's true, man. But anyhow, yes, we are back in studio. Big shout out to our man, John Colella, Eagles fan, with me joining. And our man, Jeff Guido.
He's an Eagles fan, too?
Yeah.
God, you guys grow on fucking trees.
Yeah,
man.
we do.
Jeez.
What is with you and the F-bomb
I don't know why I'm saying
bro?
the F-bomb so much.
You know what? It's football season. It's just a natural
it's
thing.
the F and this and the F and that.
It is, man. This is going to be an explicit show. We apologize.
It's
and apparently my wife's ears were ringing because she's watching now.
I will say one thing.
Sure.
And I went out last night, and I found a new drink.
Uh-oh. I thought you said you were done drinking.
Hold on.
Okay.
I found a new drink to drink before you drink.
Oh,
It's called B4. B4. Tastes and smells like a Flintstones vitamin, but I feel fantastic today.
We are Flintstones kids.
I don't feel hungover.
Strong.
I don't feel sluggish. I don't have a headache.
Growing.
I feel fantastic. So if you are going to drink before.
You said you were done drinking.
Yeah, but we went out to dinner.
Yeah, so?
Come on.
Listen.
They were drinking wine, and I was like, I don't drink wine. So
we went out. We went over to Chili's last night, and we just had something small. But, I'm drinking Tito's and soda is my new thing now.
No, I didn't have beer.
I know.
But that's good. Tito's and soda is
It
good.
is.
I mostly had whiskey.
I haven't had whiskey since 4th of July.
Well, that's a good thing for you.
I'm serious.
So,
and I won the Biggest Loser Challenge. So, yeah, self-kudos to me. I won. I lost 20 pounds. I want to thank you for your contribution.
You'll gain it all back.
I will not.
Especially in football.
No,
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
will.
No, I won't.
I guarantee you will.
Tito's and soda is my drink, man, on Sundays.
Oh, I'm not talking about the alcohol. The food-wise.
Oh, no, I can get salads. Look, Luda at Old School, he always hooks me up. Him and Vic both. Okay. So, and again, shameless plug. Season 2, people. 8 days. 8 days. You need to get excited. 1991 Main Street, beautiful downtown Sarasota, right next to Hollywood 20. We are back in the building. I'm telling you, if you thought last season was just the tip of the iceberg, we're about to, so much going on. You do not want to miss us at Old School.
Did you happen to see Steve when we did the draft that day?
Yes.
He was there.
He was so excited.
Yeah, he was.
He's like,
I thought he was going to give me a kiss. It was almost awkward. But no, I'm actually excited to see him, and I'm going to see all those guys at Old School. I'm really excited to be back.
Was that Pinto in a
That
panda?
is Pinto.
In a panda
We're
bear?
going to do an animal squad.
Oh, you are?
This year, yeah.
For Halloween?
Yeah, so if you'd like to be part of the squad.
I haven't decided. See, here's the thing.
Let me know.
Halloween this year, Kathy and I always try to do something together.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because of the time frame of when our house is potentially going to be done, I don't know if we're really going to have time to get costumes and stuff. But I'm glad I saw that now, because I'm kind of thinking if her and I are going to do something, we need to stack that money now so we can get them.
Well,
and I like to do something.
Well, Paige and I have an idea. So we have two costumes for us, me and her,
right.
like a couple's costume.
Yeah, of course.
We did 1 year. We did Dexter and a victim.
Right.
So this year we were thinking of Star-Lord and Gamora.
Okay.
Or Ace Ventura and Snowflake the Dolphin.
Ah.
So I would be Ace Ventura. She would be the Dolphin.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
See, last year, Kathy and I went as Kim and Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple years before that, I went as an Eagles cheerleader. She went as an Eagles football player.
That is
so we reversed the role.
That's very scary.
And then I think one of our first years together, she was the pimp. Mm-hmm. So you know what I was.
Yes, you were the lady of the night.
I was. So we always try and do, some fun things, but we haven't really sat and thought about what we were going to do this year.
I told her, if you want to dress up like Lieutenant Einhorn, a.k.a. Ray Finkel, and have just like a big dong, because your gun is digging to my hip, I think that would be kind of funny.
Oh, my goodness. We will talk about that. All right.
Should.
Let's keep the show going here. We are back. HNL3 in the building. So you have been affected by fantasy.
I have.
By the sideline the injuries that have happened.
And also suspensions.
Yes.
Willie Snead suspended yesterday for 3 games.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
For that DUI last year, they suspended him 3 games.
Wow.
So he will not be starting.
But you drafted him late, though.
I did draft him late.
So
still, he's a good flex.
He is.
He's a good flex guy.
He is. But more importantly, it's just looking at where these teams are going to fare. So let me ask you a question.
Of course.
Something someone brought to me. Mm-hmm. Break down, just take the 8 divisions.
Okay.
Which division do you think has the best set of quarterbacks?
Ooh. I'm going to have to say the AFC. Because you got Brady.
Well, no. Division.
Division-wise?
Yeah, division-wise.
That's a tough question, man.
Yeah.
That's a really – if I'm going to have to go out and say – I mean, the NFC East is good. Wow.
But you've got 2 second-year quarterbacks.
I know.
A guy who's pretty much on his way out, and a guy who's not sure if he wants to remain in Washington, even though he's saying all the right things in Kirk Cousins.
Right. If I'm gonna say, I would even kind of throw this out on a limb and say the NFC South because Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Drew Brees, and
third year
Jameis Winston, who's on the up and up.
Yeah.
So because you're going to get 4,000 or 5,000 yards out of Drew Brees every single year. Cam's, he probably could have a bounce back year, and then Matt Ryan, who's Matt Ryan, and then Jameis, who's been just nothing but
he's coming into his own.
And I'm not trying to be biased because my team is in that division.
Right.
I'm just saying I think out of all of the divisions,
yes,
I think NFC South.
And I thought about it when I heard this, and of course, like you, I try not to be biased, but like I said, I'm looking at 2 second-year quarterbacks in my division. Eli Manning, who is known for interceptions, and a guy who has to find his own way in Kirk Cousins. I like all of their body of works. Of course, I'm always partial to Carson. However, I am going to have to side with you.
Yeah.
And say, if you look at the entire scope, okay?
I can't.
Matt Ryan's been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Cam Newton has been to a Super Bowl. Jameis Winston is coming into his own, and I predict that the Bucs are going to win the division this year. So they're and the Bucs have a Super Bowl, not with Jameis, but they have one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I take those 4 guys and put them up against every other division, I would have to agree with you and say the NFC South has the best set of quarterbacks in the entire NFL.
Because I can't. AFC East, you pretty much have Brady.
Well, now Cutler's there with.
Yeah, but you don't know what Cutler you're going to get with.
But
him.
if this is the same Cutler that we saw when he was with Adam Gase as his offensive coordinator,
I'm not going to put him. I'm not going to put Jay Cutler in that because I would just say for that division, it's Tom Brady alone.
Okay.
I can't. And then, yeah, I'm just going to have to say the NFC South, man.
Oh, timeout.
We have somebody calling in.
Actually, it's our man Darrington.
Do I need to get the door?
Yes. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hold on for 1 second. Our man Darrington is coming in. I'm not sure. Probably in the back. Maybe. But we are going to keep it going. While he's doing that, I'm going to do a shameless plug, of course. 1989 Ringling Boulevard, the Office Bar. Come check us out. We are going to be there every Monday night and also every Thursday night starting at 7:30. Now, week 1, of course, there are 2 games, so we're going to get there right pretty much at 5:30 to start the show and roll right into the games, which is 7:15 and then 10:20. And then, as always, September 10th, it starts. Season 2, Office Bar, 1991 Main Street, beautiful downtown Sarasota. Carl he's got us so set up and ready to go that it is going to be crazy. It is going to be electric. We are going to be there every single Sunday, starting at 11:30. People, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. More importantly, all of our proceeds this year are going to the Boys and Girls Club of Sarasota. Big shout out to Bill Sadlow, who is the GM over there. This man is an amazing man. I actually met with him last year along with the Factual Frank and Scribbles, our man D. Lindo. Such a great guy. So much that he does for the community. I'm so excited to be working with him. And, I mean, we just have such a great dynamic this year. There's not really much I can say, but I do want to take a small moment because all of us at HNL3, we know somebody that has family in Texas right now. Big shout out to our man Ben, who is out there. He does the BS3 sports show. But Hurricane Harvey has decimated Houston. I just want to say as a quick personal shout, thank you to everybody who has donated either to the Red Cross, to all the celebrities and pro athletes who have made themselves, just so giving of their time, of their energy, and especially of their money to help rebuild this city, because we know it's going to take some time. But we here at HNL3 want to offer, our support and anything that we can do to help. Please, someone let us know. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. I know all of us here have donated to the Red Cross, and, we've just done our part monetarily, but we just want to show love back to everybody in Houston. I do want to send a special shout out to the entire Rays organization because, they stepped up by letting the Houston Astros come in to the Trop for their games so that we could still go and see baseball and enjoy the sport that is Major League Baseball. J.J. Watt said it best. When times are worst, it's good to see people at their best. And as a community and as a country, we've all kind of rallied together to support those who desperately need it.
Dude, J.J. Watt's the man, dude.
He's
raised how much
$15 million.
It's at 15, man?
It's at $15 million.
That's more of what he makes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But people are just, they're so giving of their time. They're so giving. I mean, there was a school, I think, where 17 kids and 3 adults were actually going out to some of the affected areas to do nothing but provide water and support. Just the pictures that we have seen, this does my heart good because you know what? It's not about black or white. It's not about gay or straight. It's not about man, woman. It's about us, just people coming together to take care of others. So I just want to take a moment and do all that. With that, I want to thank and introduce our man, Mr. Darrington Glover, who is joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on, man?
How you doing this morning?
I'm all right.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Welcome to HNL3. So we were discussing football, clearly, because, the NFL season is upon us. We were talking. Now, Darrington, do you do fantasy football?
I do.
Okay. All right. Have you been affected by the injuries that have been going on in preseason?
Actually, not so much the injuries, but Willie Snead was just.
We were just talking about him.
We were just talking
about him.
Yes.
But other than that, no, not really, because I thought about this before we even got the season set up.
Right.
So I was like, we might as well wait till week 3, 4. That way, who's going to be there, and you can have a better draft.
Okay.
So by doing that, it kind of helped from the injury standpoint and from the suspension standpoint. Like Willie Snead, nobody knew about that, but still, it's only 3 games. But
how many leagues are you in?
I'm only in 1.
Son of a bitch.
He's in 6.
I'm in 6.
Oh no,
it's a problem. I know. I have to go to rehab for this.
You know what they say.
Rehab's for quitters, right?
No, keep doing till you get it right.
Okay.
Apparently.
Hey, come on. It's addicting, all right? Jeez.
I'm not saying it's not addicting. Listen, I'm still getting – I was trying not to cuss today, but I'm still getting shit from Russell because I dropped out of his league, the one that he's in with Craig and all those guys over there, and I joined, the league that we have at work. And he's like, I thought you were doing fantasy. Yeah, well, I didn't want to, spend $200 to do y'all's league because –
Or you didn't want to be 8-8 again?
I was actually – 7-9.
Okay, 7-9.
Just
like the Eagles will be this year.
No, are you kidding me? You really want to have this conversation already this morning?
Oh, dude, it's football.
I know
it's football.
Hey, I will say this: I do have Carson Wentz on my squad.
So does he?
Oh, so this was funny. So
and Alshon Jeffrey.
We do have a caller coming in.
Oh, I think this is our man. You're on with whole nother HNL3. Who we talking to?
It's Trent, Eric.
Trent, good morning, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Trent Brinkley joining us. He got up early. He's in North Carolina. He is joining us. So gracious of you to grace with your presence, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing well, Eric. I'm just ready for college football to get back. My feet are tapping. I really don't know what to do for the next 2.5 hours before college football. I was hoping.
College game day is on. So
college game day is on.
College game day is on.
Okay.
Right now. They did an early broadcast.
All right. So cool, man. This is a guy, Trent, my man Jake Turner, who is with Indiana. I think it was Regan Sports Network. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, Jake. I apologize. Jake actually told me to speak to this young man, bring him on. He's got some true raw talent. I've listened to a couple of his shows. Are you still doing Brink of Greatness, or are you not doing that, Trent?
I am not. I'm actually going to be doing a NHL show in the upcoming weeks. We did, as you said, have a lot of good stuff. We interviewed Justin McCarron and Drew Bennett, who both played in the NFL recently at my show.
Nice. Very nice. So I know you wanted to talk college football, and I was looking over. He is gracious enough to send us a list of some first-year head coaches this year and how we think they're going to fare versus, where they were in the past. So, of course, living here in the 941-813 area code, I want to talk about USF, and I want to get your opinion basically on how you feel USF. I believe are they still ranked? They were ranked 19th to start the season.
They're still ranked 19th.
Still ranked. Okay, so let me ask you, Trent, how do you feel USF is going to fare this year?
I think we saw they had an early test in their first game.
Okay.
They struggled early against a team with San Jose State under another first-year head coach, Brett Brannon. They looked exposed at times, but found a way to overcome adversity and come back and win. And for South Florida, I think Quentin Flowers has to lead this team. He's got to step up if he wants to be an NFL draft-type quarterback from a mid-major that USF is in under Charlie Strong. He's got to have to put up good numbers. He's got to lead his team to do well. He can't turn the ball over a lot. And it helps that he's dual threat. But the problem with Quentin is he's undersized as a quarterback. But we heard this before about an undersized quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And look how overlooked he was in the NFL draft. And he's done well with Seattle. But Charlie Strong is a good motivator. He's a great defensive-minded coach. He's got a lot of pressure. He did not do so well at Texas. He did well at Louisville with a lot of good quarterbacks there, too, and at Texas. So for South Florida, they've got an easier schedule with Charlie Strong. I just think, can South Florida handle the pressure of if they start winning and they go higher in the rankings, and maybe there's rumblings of a dark horse getting into the playoff, and it could be them. Will South Florida handle the pressure well, or are they going to fall under the pressure?
All right. My man Darrington's over here shaking his head, so I'm going to let him get in on this one, Darrington. So let me talk to you. Go ahead.
I actually like the fit with Charlie Strong at USF. I believe that's where he belongs from a head coaching standpoint. He proved that at Louisville, where he was able to elevate that program. But as far as just first, Quentin Flowers being thought of as a college football prospect, NFL prospect, that's a little far off as of right now. When you bring up Russell Westbrook as being the anomaly.
Russell Wilson?
Yes, Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Being the anomaly from the quarterbacking size standpoint, I don't think Quentin has that same type of talent from that standpoint.
Okay.
And then from the dark horse aspect, I just don't see it. Like, even if you have a couple of one-loss teams from Power 5 conferences, those will make it over an undefeated USF squad.
Gotcha. All right. We're just talking to our man Trent Brinkley here. Trent, let's talk about one more team, and I appreciate you calling in today, my brother. Let's talk about Minnesota. And I want to talk about them because very interesting, this team with their new head coach this year. Talk to me about Minnesota.
Minnesota is under P.J. Fleck, who came over from Western Michigan. He did have great success despite a rough 13 his first year.
Right.
Really turned that program into well. Corey Davis, who we saw went all over the field as a wide receiver last year, was a high first-round pick to the Tennessee Titans in this past draft in the NFL. PJ's, once again, another great motivator, demands a lot out of his players. He brings a lot of passion to the game. And I think this Minnesota squad, they have not had a coach, Eric, since 1986 finished 500 as a winning coach.
Wow.
In their first year.
Wow. Okay. All right, man. Trent, man, I really appreciate you calling and chiming in with us this morning. Thank you for getting up so early. We will definitely be talking to you soon, my brother. Have a good one.
Okay.
That's my man, Trent Brinkley.
When he said they could be a dark horse team and can they handle the success, we were at number 2 one year.
You were
for a brief moment.
Yeah,
and then we lost to Rutgers. We lost to Rutgers, who was coached by Greg Schiano and had Ray Rice on his team.
Wow.
And that stupid fan base where they do the guitar thing whenever they do that.
Yes.
Oh, God. We touched it. It was number 2. And then you lose against Rutgers.
Listen,
it's a different team, though.
That's the world of college football. Any given week, man, anything is possible. Let's take another break. When we come back, definitely more on the NFL. Do want to talk some Rays baseball. You are listening to us. HNL3, 813-699-5353 is the number. We'll be right back.
I came to bring the pain, hardcore from the brain. Let's go inside my astral plane.
And welcome back to HNL3. Your man, Eric Wilson, joined by the great Al Bushman, our special guest, Mr. Darrington Glover in the building. Do you have a nickname? No? Okay.
I do have one. Okay.
All right.
I do have one. So, most people just call me D.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to be the only 2 people that I will allow to call me this at work.
I feel special.
You know, we work together.
I know, yeah.
I feel special.
And so, my nickname, for those that know me, is Space.
Okay.
I have it tattooed on my body as well.
All right.
So it's a true nickname.
Okay.
I like it.
I do. That's cool.
Is there a story behind it?
There is. We'll save that for another
Okay,
day.
there we go.
We're taking that off there.
That's a good team.
All right. Well, you know what? In respect, Darrington at work, you know, it's a professional setting. I'm going to call you Darrington. When you come and join us here, I'll call you Space.
All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Cool. So, my man Space, great old Bushman, your man Eric, as always, 813-699-5353 is the number to call in. Thank you to my man Trent Brinkley for chiming in, giving us a little college knowledge. I'm starting to get back. See, you put these old school songs on, man. I feel like I need to start rhyming again.
I've never heard you rhyme before.
I don't. It's a secret. Like, I don't really.
We could put that for the Sunday show at Old School.
Oh, I've thought about it. There have been a couple of times. Like, I was actually
a rap battle with Eric.
Well, no, not
and
that.
The loser has to buy a round of shots.
No, what I was actually going to do when you guys gave me 2 minutes to talk about my Eagles,
you were going to rap.
I was gonna rap battle the 4 of you.
I'm glad that you didn't embarrass yourself.
Oh no, it was not going to be embarrassed.
So glad that
I actually had a whole thing written out. I was using words like mitigate. I was actually using Dwayne's word analogous against him.
Wow.
So
okay,
let's keep it going with the show. So all right, gentlemen. Again, I can't wait. Thursday is like, for me, I feel like it's just that time of year.
I think
it's Christmas, my birthday, it's everything.
You're jazzed about this year because it's second year for your Carson Wentz and your Eagles, and you think
we have weapons.
They might be they do good this year.
We have weapons. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and we're beefing up our defense to where I'm actually excited this year.
7-9.
No, not going to happen.
7-9.
Not going to be
7-9.
I'll take the over all day long on that one.
7-9.
I've looked at our schedule, whereas I know you maybe have glanced at it.
7-9.
I've actually looked in depth in our schedule.
7-9.
I'm giving you 9 and 7 to be honest.
7-9.
10-6 at the minimum. At the minimum, we're hitting double digits this year. We're hitting double digits. I'm telling y'all. Darrington, who is your team, by the way?
I'm a 49ers fan. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Okay.
I have nothing good to talk about right now with my team. We cut Matt Barkley. Yay.
Yeah.
And you got Brian Hoyer. Yeah.
But you have nowhere to go but up, and I really think with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, I really believe you're going to surprise a lot of people this year.
I think we're going to be competitive, but we're going to lose a lot of games late in games. We'll be competitive for 3 quarters in that fourth quarter because we're not going to have, say, the depth of talent. That's what's going to be our Achilles heel. But we're looking forward towards this draft class coming up with the amount of talent that's at the quarterback position. We know we're going to be bad.
No reunion with Kirk Cousins and Kyle Shanahan?
That's what I was
don't think it's going to happen?
You don't think so?
I wouldn't want to do that because, Kirk Cousins, yes, he's an okay quarterback. He's not going to lead you to a Super Bowl. We're building towards the future, so you need to bring in your guy that you're going to groom from the beginning. They both signed 6-year contracts, so that's what that tells you. They at least have 4 years, so go get you a brand new quarterback, somebody that you can mold into the style of offense that you really want to run now that you are the head coach.
So what you're saying is just like the Jets, they will tank this year.
Yes, yes, just like the Jets.
So with the number 1 pick in the 2018 NFL draft, either the New York Jets or San Francisco 49ers
No, I think the Niners will win 2 or 3. I think the Jets
are only winning 1?
Yeah, 1.
Everybody says that, but, I mean...
I think the Jets are going to surprise some people.
I think they might get 3 wins. I'm going to up my number from 1 to 3.
You know who, a guy that hasn't really been picked up a lot in drafts for fantasy?
Who?
Matt Forte.
Yeah, because he's on the Jets. That's why.
It doesn't. That's all they have.
I know.
Though you can have Matt Forte on your team as your flex. You could probably get some points out.
Possibly.
But aren't the Jets trying to trade Matt Forte?
I don't know. There's so many rumors coming out of that team each and every day. I don't know because I know they have Kinsey Nunwa.
No,
they don't even have him.
He's injured.
Yeah, he's injured.
He's injured. Okay, so that's all you guys, Matt Forte.
Right.
So why would you trade him?
Well, they did just pick up Jermaine Kearse from the
But
yeah, that's true.
Sheldon. That's what I don't. You got rid of Sheldon Richardson and you sent him to Seattle. Like Seattle needs more defense.
But this is the thing. They view Sheldon Richardson as a malcontent, so they needed to get him off the team. So that's what you have to do in order to get your team where you want it to go,
right?
And with the vision that you have for it, you got to get rid of the malcontents. And so that's what Sheldon Richardson was. The Seahawks seized an opportunity. They wanted to get rid of Jermaine Kearse anyway, so they gave up a second-round pick for all-pro talent. They have what?
It's conditional, too.
Don't they have like 10 former All-Pros on that defense, just on the defensive side of the ball right now?
And that's why I'm saying to you, like, why do you need? Why y'all need this? You don't need him. ain't no reason. Like the Legion of Boom does not need to have the fortress, like the wall created right now. I'm like, come on. But in that division, it's going to be a runaway for them because you just said it. San Francisco, they're going to be in it for 3 quarters.
I see a bounce back from Arizona though.
Arizona,
if Carson Palmer can stay healthy,
which he can't,
but if he does,
he can't.
Okay.
You better rely on Drew Stanton to get you at least 1 or 2.
Hey, don't sleep on that Arizona defense. Though.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping on the defense. What I'm sleeping on is the offense because Carson Palmer can't stay healthy.
But this is the thing. You still have David Johnson, who's probably arguably the best running back in the NFL, and
Agreed.
He can help keep Carson Palmer healthy.
Yep.
Carson Palmer needs to stay upright. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's talk about, I guess now he is considered the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
He is.
With no rings to show for it. Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions.
You don't need a ring to be a good quarterback.
5 years.
Look at Dan Marino.
5 years, $135 million. This man got paid. And for what? What? I mean, honestly, what did he get paid for? He got paid for being mediocre.
No, he's not a mediocre
How many
quarterback.
playoff wins does he have under his belt?
So you're just going to blame that solely on him?
No, I'm not. But this is a quarterback-driven league, is it not?
It is.
Okay. So he is one of 32 guys who has the prestige opportunity to play at the position that every young kid wants to play at. Kids don't go out there and say, oh, I want to be wide receiver. Kids don't go out there and say, oh, I want to be safety. Kids go out there and say, I want to be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger. That's what they want to do. Now, they will, as a team, say, for the betterment of the team, I'll be a running back because I want to be like Emmitt Smith. Or I want to be like Larry Fitzgerald. Or I want to be like, Jerry Rice and go out and be a wide receiver. But primarily, kids today want to go out there and they want to be Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady got 5 rings. So if Tom Brady got 5 years, $135 million, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, yeah, give the man his money.
I don't know. Eric, the stats alone say he's worth the money. His past couple of years, he's at above a 90% QBR. And his stat, like 24 touchdowns last year, 10 interceptions the year before that, 32 and 13.
But
I know they're not. Okay. But look what he's had to work with. You take that's all. Megatron was with him for a long time, and that's pretty much it. And now last year he had Marvin Jones and Golden Tate, who nobody thought that were actually going to light it up, and they did for a few of those games.
Okay.
And then eight comebacks last year?
No, not 8 comebacks. He's led like fourth quarter comebacks.
Yeah. So the body of work you can take out. They haven't been in the playoffs. Take the body of work for him alone. I think is worth the money because they're looking at him as, okay, we need to lock this guy in as our franchise guy. Because now we can go out and say, hey, we've got this guy at our quarterback position who is going to lead this team. We want guys to come over to play for a guy like that.
Okay. Here's what I will say to you, arguing nothing solely, and I this is what I will say. I always base my opinion
on playoffs.
I base it on what have you done for me lately. I base it on year to year, not overall.
But, okay, so if you're talking about what have you done for me lately, since Megatron has retired, he's actually been a lot better of a quarterback.
That's very true.
And if you go back to even, I believe it was from week 12 on last year when they went on that run to try to make it into the playoffs, I believe.
They lost the last 4 games.
But it doesn't matter. If you want to go for stats, he threw 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
That's pretty damn good.
Listen, his stats and numbers will show it. But here is what I go off of, okay? All the accolades in the world can be great. But as people, what do we remember? We remember that one thing you didn't do. What didn't he do? He did not get up for the last game of the regular season to, instead of being the division champ, being the wild card. And then you had to play the same exact team the very next week for the playoffs, and you couldn't get up for that game. But he gets a 5-year, $135 million contract. Now, I get it. Big picture, we're locking a solid quarterback in to get weapons to pull around him to make Detroit better. But there were some people who even said, I don't see Detroit finishing last in this division. And I'm like, wow, you're giving a lot of kudos to a team in Chicago who we still don't know really what's going on. I say you need to start Mitchell Trubisky, in my opinion. I've always said that, and I will continually say that.
You're not a Mike Glennon fan? Come on, bro.
No, are you a Mike Glennon fan?
Yeah,
the $45 million highest paid backup?
No. See, don't think of that as $45 million. I'm not a Bears fan, but I'm going to help Bears fans out here. Don't think of that as $45 million. Think of that as a 1-year investment at $18 million.
Okay.
Because that's all it really is. The rest of that is dead money. If they cut him after this season, they owe him nothing else but that $18 million they've already paid. So you go out there, you let Matt Glennon start, bring Mitchell Trubisky along a little bit slower, not throw him out to the fire.
Keep going. Don't worry about that. I don't know why he keeps doing that.
All right. What brings us here? It is HNL3, baby. It is football season. Get your popcorn ready. We are here today. Let's go.
I'd say I would agreeing with him. That's true because you can take Mike Glennon for what he's got. He's the 1-year investment because now if it starts to peter out where Mike Glennon's going to screw up, end of the season you can cut him, and then you can bring in Mitchell Trubisky. You can bring in Trubisky into half of the season because he's shown in preseason he's actually pretty damn good.
So that's why I'm saying start him now.
No, don't
have Mike Glennon as your insurance in case Trubisky does stink up the joint. You still have Mike Glennon for that 1 year,
but you still have $18 million sitting on the bench. When you can mold a guy like Trubisky and have him ready whenever you need him ready. If Mike Glennon starts to throw down, like the Bears are in a rebuilding mode as it is right now too.
So would you rather take $18 million on the bench, or would you rather have a winning record?
I would have $18 million on the field because Glennon is a serviceable backup, like a 5th tier quarterback, but he can manage the game.
Okay.
And he's got guys around him which they can make plays. I mean, he's got Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
They lost Cameron Meredith.
They lost Alshon Jeffries. Thank you.
But they can. He's shown it in Tampa where he can actually run an offense. So I would rather have him out there to be the serviceable starting quarterback for now Now, if he starts to screw up, bring in Trubisky. I would not throw Trubisky in, who you drafted so high, you traded up to get, and throw him out in the fire so soon. I wouldn't do that.
But we know he's going to screw up. That's the one thing we can guarantee.
I wouldn't do it, though.
We know that Glennon is going to screw up.
You're not in a position like the Browns where you have really nobody to start.
Well, I mean, if you want to be comparative to rookie quarterbacks that shouldn't be starting, that probably are going to start, in Trubisky and Kaiser. Kaiser's look like he can handle playing in the NFL as well. Should he be starting? No. Should Trubisky be starting? No. But I think if you start Trubisky, you have a better chance with pairing him up with Kevin White, who's still there, who hopefully remains healthy.
Is he going to play?
if he remains healthy, then yeah.
4 games in, 2 years?
Yeah.
They put a lot on him, too. I'm like, dude, you stealing money.
But you think, when you really think about it, this is the big year that wide receivers make that jump, regardless of how many games they have played. So,
True. All right. So you two gentlemen agree with the whole Matthew Stafford contract based on looking at the future. I am a man who looks at things as, because we are an instant gratification society. So I'm like, listen, what have you done for me last year? And what you didn't do for me last year was put the Lions, even though you had the talent, as you gentlemen said, minus Megatron. You had Jones, you had Tate, you had Amir Abdullah, you had Zach Zenner, you had Eric Ebron. You know, you had these pieces.
Still does.
But you couldn't get it done.
I'm going to tell you this. He hasn't really had Amir Abdullah either.
He's been hurt a lot, too.
Healthy.
This is true, but we'll see this year. But I asked this question when we did our show at the office. I said, do you start Amir Abdullah or do you start Zach Zenner? And you guys were all like, oh, I'll take Abdullah all day. But Zach Zenner produced. Why would you not, if that chemistry is there, why would you not roll with that?
I think Zenner just got hurt, didn't he?
I'm not sure, but I would start Abdullah anyways too, because he presents more potential from an offensive standpoint. And you have to think about it, it's going to be, you're talking about Zach Zenner. Zach Zenner's running back 3 for them. You don't forget about Theo Riddick that's still on that squad that lines up in the slot and then comes back.
See, I look at him more as a slot than I do as a back.
But they still hand the ball
off
to him.
You're right. You're right about that.
Wasn't Stafford the last year of his contract this year? He was going to be free agent last year. So that's why they wanted to lock him up, because he could go anywhere after this.
I'm just saying, 5 years, 135. I think they overpaid for him.
I mean, you know who should be happy? Kirk Cousins and Drew Brees.
You know who should be mad? Aaron Rodgers.
But no, Aaron Rodgers
needs to get paid. Come on, man.
But this is the thing. Aaron Rodgers goes in that negotiating knowing where he can be and where he will settle for.
Right.
And he takes what he will settle for. Same thing like Tom Brady.
Yep. And now, unlike Drew Brees, who doesn't do that, Drew Brees does not restructure. He goes in and says, this is his amount, this is what he needs to be paid, and that is final. So he doesn't go anywhere. He has no wiggle room. So this is why the Saints are where they are, potentially going back to being the Aints.
See, the Lions will be second in the division this year.
Second?
Second.
So you're saying Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago?
Yep.
I don't know. I think Minnesota.
I do too. I think Minnesota might see second this year. You started off 5-0 last year with Sam Bradford. The only thing that happened was Sam Bradford ran into Philly, his old team, and they just whooped him. So he couldn't rebound from that. Now he's got a brand new year. Xavier Rhodes got that money to be a true defensive guy and take it out and maybe be a leader on this squad. So I fully expect Minnesota to be, and we'll see week 1, because guess who they're playing? The Saints. AP's coming back to Minnesota as a New Orleans Saint. So we're going to see if that Minnesota defense can actually hold its own against the freak of nature that is Adrian Peterson. Darrington, let me ask you a question. I asked this to the gentleman before. Would you start Mark Ingram over AP?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Why?
Because from a continuity standpoint on that offense, Mark Ingram's been there. This is AP's first year.
Okay.
So Mark Ingram, it's not as though he's a slouch at running back. He picks up the blitz well. He keeps Drew Brees standing tall, and he's viable coming out of that backfield. Adrian Peterson doesn't present that versatility at all. When AP comes in the game, everybody in that stadium knows it's either going to be a play action pass or AP is getting the handoff. There's no kind of trickery.
There's no surprises.
No surprises.
No
surprises whatsoever.
All right. I'm still like, but it's AP. So I'm just
it's
like,
a 32-year-old AP.
Exactly.
But he has rewritten that book when it comes to aging running backs. Listen, we all know. Well,
He?
look what he was able to do. I mean, he got injured last year, and then he came back, and he was still. It seems like every time he gets injured, he does come back stronger. He comes back not healthier, but he comes back stronger.
He did not come back stronger last year.
Okay,
it was a down year for him.
I would beg to differ on that. I
had to
would.
drop him on fantasy because it was that bad.
Well, I mean, he was out 10 weeks. I would have dropped him on fantasy too.
I just don't think him coming into this new system. He's 32 years old. Ingram's going to get the majority of the carries.
Is he from there? Is he from New Orleans?
AP, I think he's from. Oklahoma. Well, he went to Oklahoma. I don't think he's from New Orleans.
Either that or Texas.
Yeah, I think he's a Texas boy. Yeah.
He's Texas.
But I just don't think a 32-year-old AP is going to make a difference. You're going to get more out of Mark Ingram than you are AP.
All right.
And plus, Drew Brees is going to throw it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, for the first 3 games, I don't know who he's throwing it to because Willie Snead ain't playing.
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas, man. Michael Thomas.
There was a guy
and Colby Fleener. Don't forget.
Well, hold on. That was a name that didn't really come up in fantasy this year.
Oh man, he's been going the first 2 rounds, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No one in our squad.
He's a Brandon Cooks type player.
No, he's not a Brandon Cooks type player.
I'm wrong. He's not a Brandon Cooks type player.
He's more like a if you had to compare the two, like Mike Evans.
There you
he's
go.
going to score a lot of touchdowns. He's going to catch a lot of passes. He did it last year.
I got Mike Evans, my first pick.
That's cool. I got Carson Wentz. It's all right. He's gonna sit on my bench.
I don't know. I ended up with Jay Ajayi and AJ Green.
Jay Ajayi, there's a guy who do you think he's really going to get a lot of the carries this year? I mean, Cutler is known to throw the ball to air the ball out, so I'm saying the receivers are, I think, going to get more time than Jay Ajayi will. Granted, he's the number 1 back. I'll give you that.
Let me ask you this: is Jay Cutler running that offense, or is Adam Gase running that offense?
Adam Gase is. Trust me. Cutler likes his boy Devontae Parker, but they're going to be running the ball.
Okay. All right.
I just think running.
I think the two of them have such a good connection that it might be a combination. But at the end of the day, yeah, it is the head coach. But Jay Cutler, we know that when he wants to play, and when he has the heart and the desire to play, he can pick apart defenses. There's no question about that.
But I don't think he has that heart nor that desire. I think he just came back for that extra $10 million they were willing to pay.
Plus, his wife wanted him out of the house anyway.
Yeah, this is true. All right, so let's move over to the AFC. Let's talk about Derek Carr. Derek Carr has been considered to be, and this is a term that I thought I would never use for Derek Carr, the Black Mamba.
Who came up with that?
I don't know. I saw this. It was actually it was either on ESPN or it was on Score.com. But they said Derek Carr could potentially be the Black Mamba of the NFL.
I think Derek Carr is a very good quarterback. I think he has very good offensive weapons. And I believe that the Oakland Raiders last year could have possibly been playing in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah,
they could have been in there. I totally agree with that. I said that before, yeah.
Oh, no, there's no question about it. I mean, I was sorely pissed off when he went down because I was like, man, this was my team to go up against New England and actually fight them in the AFC Championship game. And actually it was going to be – I saw it as potentially maybe being the passing of the torch because I didn't think Brady had enough left in him for one more year. I was proven wrong, obviously. But I think Derek Carr is the guy of the future. I really do. Now, with the addition of Beast Mode, they got him for 2 years until the Raiders go to Vegas. You know, I think that the nucleus that was there, now Latavius Murray's in Minnesota. So now you've got Beast Mode. You've still got, arguably, a top 2 wide receiver core in Crabtree and Cooper. I just like that whole cast of characters. I've always loved them. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. What concerns me is that defense. Because if Khalil Mack does not show up this year, Oakland, I think, is going to lose a lot of games, and we've seen that. Listen, you guys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you guys went to overtime with them last year.
Yeah, because we have a shitty defense.
Yeah, but besides
that's why.
It was an offensive juggernaut. It was a battle between Jameis Winston's second year and Derek Carr. So I was like, wow, this is actually, these are the types of games that I enjoy. These are the types of games that I get up for.
Those are the types of games I don't enjoy, especially with my team.
Oh, that was a very good game. Yeah. I like that. If me as a 49ers fan loves to see that type of football.
But listen, even though we played Dallas in the Sunday night game last year, and it was a back and forth game, and I'm looking at two rookie quarterbacks, and y'all know I hate them. The fact that I've said their name twice on this show makes me want to just in my mouth. So but it was great to see because the rivalry that existed. I want to see more of the Oakland Tampa Bay kind of back and forth. Division games, you're always going to get something unexpected, and I fully agree with that. I see,
what nicknames they should have for Derek Carr instead of the Black Mom?
I don't know. I when I saw that, I was like,
David Carr's brother, Derek Carr.
Yeah, I know.
They always say the baby brothers are usually the better ones, too. Because even think about it in the Manning family. Cooper is the eldest.
Yeah.
And then there's Peyton and Eli. Eli's not the best, but when you think about it.
Breathing idiot.
Hey, but he's got
2 rings. I know.
He's got 2 rings, and he's the only guy that can honestly say, I have beaten Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. The only guy that can say that.
Darrington, let me ask you, Marshawn Lynch, what do you think we're going to get out of him this year?
I think for the next 2 years, Marshawn Lynch is going to give the Oakland Raiders all that he has. That's the kind of guy that he is. I mean, he's
back home.
He's back home. And if you know anything, Marshawn Lynch loves the city of Oakland. He really gives back to the city of Oakland. He is a very charitable guy. It's a little known fact, but he has a business that teaches the NFL players how to save their money.
Nice.
Because when you think about it, a lot of people don't realize this, but Marshawn Lynch wasn't one of those guys that was out there living extravagantly. He really still has a lot of his money that he had from playing in the NFL prior to his brief retirement.
And Skittles money, too.
Yes, and Skittles money.
Listen, the fact that he did either an Xbox commercial or something.
He's really big in the gaming, man.
He is.
He's huge in the gaming.
And he was just in there. Y'all need to work on your people skills. I want to know how much he got paid just for saying that. And then
couple million.
When the Pepsi commercial, where it was the woman talking, but it was Marshawn was lip syncing. I'm like, really?
I'm really hoping a lot of production at him because I have Shady and him on my fantasy team.
I think you're going to be. A lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised by that. I think he actually runs for 1,000 yards. A lot of people are sleeping on Marshawn Lynch, but Marshawn Lynch isn't one of he's. You know who he reminds me of from his regiment standpoint?
Yeah,
is a lot of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Say opinions aside, but from a regimented, structured lifestyle. I mean, being from your craft and your profession, I mean, I see that out of Marshawn Lynch. I mean, you what else do you have? Just because he doesn't like to talk, he's a little bit more introverted than others. You can't say anything bad about him.
No, you can't. And it's very rare to find somebody say anything bad about Marshawn Lynch. Actually, I love listening to him because I know what I'm gonna get with him, and I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So you're saying 2 years we gonna get the best of beast mode. There's going to be nothing but clips all day long.
He's what, 32 now?
He's
31? 31, yeah.
He's 31. So he's got a couple of years left, especially, kind of hanging out, relaxing last year.
Do they win in the 2 years? Do they win the chip in 2 years? Within these 2 years with beast mode? Because he's not going to Vegas. He's made that perfectly clear.
And that's where it gets tricky because you talk about Khalil Mack showing up. It's really not Khalil Mack showing up. It's their secondary. They have Reggie Nelson that's aging back there, so they drafted Obi Melifowu. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but they drafted him as potential takeover for that. They have Garen Conley that, yes, he did have the issues earlier, but he's been exonerated from that, so now he's going to play, kind of stepping in for David Emerson or Sean Smith, whichever one doesn't play well.
Right.
That's where they need the help at on the back end. If that back end can really come together, the back four, then I think you'll see a jump. But it's really going to be hard to beat the Patriots. You can't count them out. Like, even with Julian Edelman going down, it's still going to be very hard to beat them from a team standpoint.
Listen, speaking of that, I just bought Madden 2018. I actually bought it last night, and I bought the GOAT edition. Let me tell you, and of course,
I called him this morning and say I'm going to be a little bit late. He goes, "Oh, that's cool. I haven't left the house yet, and it's like 8:30." I'm like, "Oh, you're going to be late too."
Yeah.
Why? I've been playing Madden all night.
I was playing. Okay. I was. Russell and him and I will stay up. We're like 2 8-year-old kids that never want to go to bed. And it's the same two teams. It's Patriots, Eagles. That's what it is. And, he kicked my butt, clearly, because it's just Russell. But just from the gaming standpoint alone, like the Brady to Gronk, if Gronk can stay healthy, and then the Brady to Brandon Cooks, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, there's no point even playing this damn game.
It's not real.
I know it's not but
real.
Just from the standpoint of what I saw transpire last night just through the video game, if that would transpire actually onto the field, there's no way that the Patriots are going anything less than 14-2. Because they'll have a hiccup. I still say
it'll be against the Bucs October 5th.
Well, that's one, and then I think they're going to lose to the Jets. I do, because no one will expect that. But the Jets always play the Patriots hard. Doesn't matter who the head coach is for the Jets. Doesn't matter who's playing on the Jets team. They always play the Patriots hard.
So Josh McCown is going to lead them past the Patriots. Okay.
One game. It's one game.
You up with money on it?
One game?
Money on that.
I'm saying 14-2.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you like the gameplay of Madden? I actually played Madden 18 yesterday as well. I haven't played Madden in, I believe, since 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the gameplay and the graphics as from not playing it for so many years. I just want to get your opinion on that.
Going from 17, because I played last year.
Isn't there a story mode now?
It's called Long Shot.
The story mode.
It's a story mode. So you take a guy from college, he gets drafted, and you basically play as him, build him up through.
It's kind of like what MLB The Show does. You take a guy, you create your player, and you go through the minors, and then you make
right. So it is interesting. I haven't even got into that yet, but from the standpoint of the gameplay, Darrington, let me be honest. I'm 41, man. Okay? All these new button configurations and stuff, to me, I feel it's too much. I just want to go back to the old school days of, Tecmo Bowl and the first Madden where, you didn't have all these buttons. You did this, you did that.
When the ambulance come running on the field, knocking all the players out of the way.
That's me. But like you said, from a graphic standpoint, yes, I appreciate it. It's great. I have to kind of dive into it. But going from 17 to 18, there really isn't much difference. But, you got the truck stick, you got the truck hit, you got the juke, you got this, you got that, and it's all about timing.
You know what Madden should do? Is they should kind of scale it back next year and have it kind of like NFL Blitz back in the day. NFL Blitz, that was a great game.
It was.
That's what they should do for next year.
I don't know. I was preferential to NFL Street.
Really? I remember NFL Street.
Wow.
You see, I was more of an NFL Blitz guy.
I know. I was more NFL Street.
Were you?
Yeah, because I played NBA Street, too. So...
Because I was an NBA Jam guy and then an NFL Blitz.
No, I was.
Love Blitz.
I mean, I still have NBA Jam. Actually, I have it.
The Big Head Edition?
Yeah. I have the presidential one where it had I have Obama and Biden on one side, and I have, I think, McCain and Sarah Palin on the other.
Oh, God.
I know. It's crazy.
It's terrible.
All right, let's talk some Rays baseball here because, Great L. Bushman, you're actually watching again.
I'm actually watching. They're tolerable now.
Because they are still in the hunt.
They are. 3 games back.
3 games back.
3 games back.
With the potential. Now, if the playoffs were to start today,
they would be out.
All right. So how far are they from the second wild card spot?
3 games.
Oh, okay.
They're
I thought
3
that
games
was
back. No. They're not 3 games back from the AL East. No, they're out of that.
Okay.
They're 3 games back for the wild card right now.
Looking at the rest of the schedule,
it's tough.
You've got a serious homestands coming up. What is it, the second or third week in 2 weeks against Boston, 15, 16, 17?
Yep.
You got that one.
Cubbies are coming to town.
And that's the following Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah.
Yep. So we have the White Sox. We're in Chicago this weekend. We won yesterday. Then we got the Twins at home, the Red Sox away in Beantown, then the Yankees, then the Red Sox again, then the Cubs, and then the Orioles, who now could be in the hunt for a wild card spot.
Wow.
The Orioles. And then the Yankees again, and then the Orioles again. It's tough. It's a tough stretch.
So your last month is pretty much all division.
Yeah, and since they're in the position now where they've kind of heated up back again and going against those teams who, the Red Sox are probably going to win it for the AL East, and the Yankees are still hunting for they have the first wild card spot, and then the Orioles are trying to fight their way into the second one. So, and then the Cubbies are coming into town, the return of Joe Madden. So it's this next month is you got to put up a shut if you're going to try and get into this playoff race.
So, all right. So I'll play devil's advocate here. If you are successful in getting into the second wild card spot,
yep,
How far are you going to go?
You're out the first round.
You're out the first round.
You're out that 1 game playoff.
Wow.
I just don't. They're just not in a position yet to make a run for the playoffs. They're not.
So again,
I've come to the realization for that. I've come to terms with that.
That's fine. But is it all your bullpen? Is it still all your bullpen?
No, it's just a combination of just things where pitching's not going right. Hitting is actually finally woken up again. It's just a combination of things.
Okay.
But I think it's more as it's too little too late.
Unbiased, do they get into the postseason?
No.
You're saying no?
I'm saying no.
All right. I just
trust me. I'll still go to the games.
No, of course.
But no, they're not.
I mean, listen. I want to go to
three games. You have to leapfrog. I think it's 4 teams. So that's hard to do, especially going into this next few weeks where the teams you're playing are top quality teams.
Right.
So
but you've beaten them before.
But we have. But it's still it's a hard thing to do.
Let me ask this. Isn't the most important series they have coming up right now against the Twins, though?
Yep.
Because the Twins are, in the second playoff spot, are very close to it.
I believe that series and also the Orioles series, too, because the Orioles right now are ahead of the Rays. So those two, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, those are the two crucial ones because that's going to determine if you're going to make a run. But you've got the Twins at home, and then you're going up to Boston right after that. So and you got the Red Sox and then the Yankees and the Red Sox again. So you are – those 3 series alone that's going to pretty much determine the rest of your season. Because if you don't come out of the Red Sox series and the Yankee series, if you don't come out of that at least over 500 in that stretch, you're done.
4 and so they got to come in at least 4 games. 4-2.
No, I'm talking about after the Twin series. You're away in Boston, then you play the Yankees and then the Red Sox at home for a 6-game stretch. If you're not over 500 in that stretch, you're done.
So that's what, 9 games?
9 games.
So you got to win 5.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, you need to win 7.
Yeah, you got to be more than that.
Okay,
you got to be at least, or you got to win. You got to be 7-2.
7-2.
You have to.
All right,
because then you got the Cubs again, and you got the Cubs coming into town, and then you got the.
But
Orioles.
the Cubs are only here for 2 days, right?
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying. It's only a 2 game.
But then you're going into Baltimore, and then you're going into the Yankee Stadium again, right after that.
Okay.
So and the Orioles are above you right now.
Right.
I just don't see it happen.
Okay. I just, this is the time of year where you, listen, pretty much the month of August, you kind of wrote the Rays off. I was like, wow, I'm not worried about it. I'm talking about football.
Well, come on. It's football time.
No, I agree with you.
It's college football time. But Florida State's playing Alabama tonight.
Nobody wants to talk about Florida State, man.
Florida State's going to.
Who you want to talk about, Darrington?
I'm a Gator.
Oh, man, come on.
What do you mean? I'm an alum.
Okay.
Go blue.
So let me. Okay, so
did you just say that, Eric?
Go blue.
Come on.
So
man.
Michigan and Florida played today.
Mm-hmm.
On a combination of 18 players suspended, correct?
For Florida?
No,
total.
Yeah, because I think Florida suspended 2 more on Friday.
We have a total of 10, I believe.
And Michigan has 8.
8.
Yeah.
So what do you expect out of this game?
I expect it to be a very good football game.
Even with all the players suspended?
Well, Florida only has 2 starters suspended.
Okay.
So Callaway and then Scarlett. And so we've finally have some depth at the wide receiver position. We've always had depth at the running back position. In recent years since Tim Tebow left, the only thing that has mattered has been the quarterback position. Now we finally have talent and depth at the quarterback position. I mean, granted, it's one with Malik Zaire. We have a redshirt freshman, and then I can't even remember his name because he hasn't played in so long. But it doesn't matter because Felipe Franks and Malik Zaire are going to be the 2 primary quarterbacks. So I'm not worried about Michigan. Our defense is going to be better than their offense, and that's all that's going to matter.
Okay. Do you see Florida making a run for the SEC title?
No.
Yes.
What?
We've been to the last, 2, I know at least 2 straight SEC championship games. Granted,
but you're going up against Alabama.
I mean, yeah. We played Alabama. The first year we played Alabama under McElwain, we couldn't score a touchdown.
Right.
Last year, we scored 2 offensive touchdowns. I'm just being optimistic. But all jokes aside, with better quarterback play and the way our defense plays, yes, we could give Alabama a shot. But a lot of things have to go right, and our quarterback play has to be very good. So
you guys do have a very tough schedule. I mean, you have Michigan today.
Have a tough schedule.
Northern Colorado, I'm not really too worried about Northern Colorado, and then you got a stretch where Tennessee, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and LSU. So it's a good stretch of games right there.
We have consecutive winning streaks over Kentucky.
You might as well just say this. Take this one as a loss, because that's pretty much what's going to happen. That's a loss right there on November 25th. That's a loss.
Losing to Florida State.
We're
going to beat
Florida State's going to come into Ben Hill Griffin Stadium and just pound you guys.
You know what? And that's going to be your downfall, because y'all are going to come in there thinking y'all are going to beat us for what, the 8th consecutive year?
Yes, it's going to be 9.
No, it's not.
It's going to be 9. Oh, it's definitely going to be 9.
I have no horse in this race.
Side bet.
I just said go blue because it's Big Ten. I'm a Big Ten boy,
okay.
So I got to support them. So
he's a Penn State guy.
I am.
You know what? I like what's going on.
I do. So do I.
Valley.
I am.
It's finally happy in Happy Valley.
Yeah, thank God for small favors. But listen, that was a shameless plug also for the owner of Old School, Carl, where we're going to be at every Sunday, because he's a big Michigan guy. So, hey, actually, he played there.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. No, he didn't play there. He played. He played somewhere. It was up there in college. We got to talk to him about that, because I'm like, wait a minute, you played and you didn't even bother telling us this?
I never knew he played.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, what? All right, so, Darrington, while we still got you, let me ask you a couple questions, because I just want to pick your brain on some things. So, right now, who do you see as a front runner in the AFC outside of New England to win their division and kind of either get back to the postseason or maybe a shocker?
A shocker.
In the AFC, the whole entire conference. You want to go division by division?
I like Miami.
Okay.
Like,
even with Cutler?
Like, yeah, because just for the 1 year with Gase, I think they could surprise a lot of people, because a lot of people aren't going to be expecting much.
Right.
And I even just said I'm not expecting much out of Jay Cutler, but I do like Miami.
So week 1, do they win against Tampa?
No.
Okay.
Blasphemy.
I have to ask the question.
Matter with you.
Listen, I have to ask the question. Week 1.
I mean, I am a Bucks fan deep down inside, because my grandfather had season tickets for the Bucks since they started, and he just recently, just due to health issues, hasn't been able to go and hasn't had them. But I remember going to the Sombrero, watching Brett Favre, Deion Sanders, like back when he was with the Falcons.
Right.
Deion Sanders,
orange uniforms.
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yes.
Okay.
But if in the AFC, I don't really see too many surprises, honestly. I just think it's going to be a lot of status quo. It's going to be some tough divisions like that. AFC West is going to be very tough. So,
you think so? Even with, I mean, Denver doesn't really have a stable quarterback. I won't say solid. I'll say stable quarterback, because I'm not sure
I think that's a misconception, though. I think they do. Trevor Siemian was there last year. He won the starting job before preseason this year.
Okay.
So they have stability. The players are rallied around him. He doesn't really make too many mistakes. And only being there for a second year and really being able to play is going to be, I think it's just going to be good for that offense. I think you'll see them bounce back a little bit, and that defense is
that defense speaks for itself.
Unless there's a sharp regression in some play of certain players, I like the Broncos.
Do you think Andrew Luck? Let me ask you a couple questions. Andrew Luck, is he on the decline?
No, I mean, he's just taking his time coming back from a shoulder injury, man. I don't know why people are taking that. The injury time frame is 6 to 9 months. He's only been out 8 months right now.
Okay.
So take your time, young man. I mean, why rush back from an injury and only hurt yourself
Because this is a guy who, from the minute he took over from Peyton Manning, he continued the trend of the Colts being the dominant team in that division and going so far every year, making it to the postseason and going further and further. So people already have that expectation that Andrew Luck, his first year, getting to the postseason, his second year, winning wild card weekend, his third year, winning divisional weekend. This was a guy who was moving in the right direction. and then all of a sudden an injury has now plagued him. Now, listen, it's going to happen.
He just has a terrible offensive line.
He has a terrible team surrounding him, period.
So
man.
that's not our fault. Blame that on Jim Irsay. What do you want me to do?
You can't blame that on Andrew Luck either. He can't go. What do you expect him to go draft the talent around him and throw to it?
No, but what I'm saying to you is you and I both know this, and so is a great up Bushman. People have that expectation. Listen, we can sit here and try and be as biased or unbiased as we want to be, but the fact of the matter is, when you go from a Peyton Manning, who brought you a championship, to Andrew Luck, and then Andrew Luck continues the trend where you don't skip a beat, that doesn't happen that often.
I wouldn't say – you can't say he's on a decline.
Okay.
I think he's now just coming into his own because the injury he had is he has nothing really around him. He has T.Y., and that's it. And an aging Frank Gore who's on his way out.
You're right.
Don't sleep on Dante Moncrief.
Sleeper in a lot of fantasy leagues. And I like the fact that they drafted Marlon Mack because Marlon Mack is that heir to the throne for Frank Gore.
Okay.
So I just – saying he's on a decline, I wouldn't agree with that because it's what he has around him. Their offensive line is just so bad. You know they're bad.
Yeah.
So that's not his fault. I think he's now in the prime position where if he comes back healthy, he's going to be the same Andrew Luck we've seen before.
All right.
They just have to draft better, and they have to bring more better players to that team.
Okay. So let's go to the AFC North, where clearly this is a Pittsburgh Steelers league. Everybody else is just lucky to play in it. But I will say this to you, and I want to hear from you gentlemen about this. I think if Cincinnati can stay healthy, even though Giovanni Bernard pretty much is on his way out, and I think Joe Mixon's going to step up and take over that number 2 slot as the backup running back.
Joe Mixon's going to be number 1.
Yeah. Jeremy Hill got hurt. Giovanni Bernard's he's not what he used to be.
Joe Mixon is the complete back. He can catch the ball.
Oh, no, I like him.
He's a complete 3-down back.
I think if they can all stay healthy, I think Cincinnati might actually do something they haven't done in – no. You're shaking your head no.
That defense still can't keep his head on.
Oh, thank you. Well, we already know that. I mean, Burfict is suspended, 5 games? He got it reduced down to 3.
John Ross, they drafted. He's hurt. He might have a bad knee injury, so he might be down. So they're hurting right now.
But that's offense. We're talking defensive side of the ball.
But still, I mean, they can't get out of their own way. That's the problem with that team.
Oh, I know.
Since he's their own worst enemy when it comes to –
No, Marvin Lewis is Cincinnati Bengals. Don't get me started on that one. Marvin Lewis is a Cincinnati Bengals' worst enemy. All right, so let's flip to the NFC then. And taking out – and I will try and be objective.
Did we finish the AFC?
Well, we talked about the West.
No, but hold on. Let's go back to that AFC South.
Okay.
As bad as Blake Bortles is and as much money as the Jaguars have pumped into that defense, they have to be good this year, don't they?
Oh, no, they have to be playoff or bust this year. There is no choice in the matter.
It's sad because they have so much talent on that team, and it just solely relies on who's at the quarterback position to lead them the way. And they have so much talent.
I have a question.
Sure.
Would Colin Kaepernick be a better quarterback on that team than anybody else?
Yes. I would say definitely yes. Because what they have right now
his style of play, though.
I think but his style of play would bring something fresh and new to that team because of what they have offensive-wise. But you have Fournette, who's a big back. He's a bruiser back. And you have Allen Robinson. You have Allen Hurns on the side. I think they need a guy like Kaepernick who could be a mobile quarterback and to run that offense. What you have now with Chad Henne and Blake Bortles ain't working. Hasn't been working the past, 8 years? It has not been working. So if I know it's going to bring a lot. If the Jags somehow say, look, maybe we need to take a shot with Kaepernick, I think breathing a new, fresh breath of life into that offense could maybe do something.
Looking at the offensive scheme, what
else do you have to lose?
Yeah, when I look at the offensive scheme of the Jacksonville Jaguars, what I don't see is Colin Kaepernick behind center. That's what I don't see because of his style of play. Forget about everything else. I'm talking about basic body of work and his style of play. I don't see him fitting into that mold. Because I feel like the quarterback who plays for Jacksonville needs to be have a more pocket presence than mobility.
But see, this is the thing. That's the fatal misconception that people have about Colin Kaepernick, that he does not have good QB pocket.
Oh no, he does.
But then, so what's the problem?
The problem
because
is,
I think, strong arm and he can take advantage of those young wide receivers going down the field.
No,
that's what they need.
The problem that I have is that I think he's going to rely too much on his legs, very much like what RG3 did. He has the presence of mind to be in the pocket, to stay in the pocket. However, as the pocket collapses, I feel instinct kicks in, and he just naturally wants to run the ball. And I think that's where we're going to see a breakdown, where guys like Blake Bortles, and granted, he throws more interceptions than Eli Manning, which I thought I would never say about another quarterback in the NFL. Blake Bortles, at least even as the pocket collapses, he still manages to find a way, granted sometimes it goes to the other team, to maintain that sense of the entire field. When Colin Kaepernick takes off, then it's all about Colin Kaepernick.
But see, you've mentioned twice turnovers. Does Colin Kaepernick turn over the ball? He does not.
No, he does not.
In his last year with the 49ers, when he came in a relief effort just because, they didn't have anywhere else to go to,
right.
He threw 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Okay.
He was not a bad quarterback. The main problem with him and the 49ers and why they parted ways was, one, they had a different regime change, and two, he wants to get paid because he knows he's a good quarterback. So I don't blame him for that. The only thing that is going on right now, which everybody has said already, is that nobody wants him on the team because he's actually taking a stance and being vocal about what's important to him.
Right.
And most of those owners, his issues are not important to them, and so they don't want that on their team.
You're absolutely right. I cannot argue that point. I feel he deserves a job. I feel he needs to be on a team to where he's able to produce, because you're absolutely right. On the field, his body of work is at sometimes head and shoulders above some of these other quarterbacks who are starting in the NFL. However, when owners encompass everything, that's why he doesn't have a job. I'm surprised. Like when I found out, or when we were watching the draft, when I heard that Joe Mixon was going to Cincinnati, I was like, wow, they really want to take a chance on this kid? So that's what I feel like. I feel like some owners will take the time to actually sit down with these athletes and find out, okay, where is your head at? Because if I'm going to take a chance on you, I need to know that we have the same common interest and common goals. And you're absolutely right. The owners and Kaepernick don't have the same common interest. The owners are about the money. Kaepernick's about the stance. So there was talk, there was rumor, as there always is, that, that my team, Philadelphia, might actually pick him up because we haven't seen much of Nick Foles this entire preseason. We cut Matt McGloin, who was a home guy from Penn State. So now it's like, do we take a chance on him? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I know his body of work and I know what he's capable of doing, but does Jeffrey want to take that type of risk? Now, we did it with Michael Vick and we were somewhat successful, but now it's Doug Peterson. We've got our franchise. Do you want to add the additional media attention that's going to come with Kaepernick? Because we've been through it once before.
If you're the Eagles, no. I would say if they somehow did that, if you put him at a backup role, you're just going to get less attention.
Well, that's what he would be.
But if you're a team like the Jags who need a quarterback, I'd say take a chance. That would be a great. I honestly, I didn't think about that before. That'd be a great fit.
It would be. I mean, the only common goal you would have is winning. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick wants to win. He's just not out there doing this just because, he wants to have media attention on his stance. No, he wants to win. And I think that's what's getting lost in all of this. Yeah, he hasn't come out and said anything about it because that's a smart thing to do. You let everybody else talk about it, make their own assumptions, when really at the end of the day, if you want to play football, you want to win.
This is true. Speaking of Michael Vick, he got hired as a Fox Sports analyst. And now there are people who are boycotting Fox because he's on their show. Can I just say, as a guy who had to deal with Michael Vick as a Philadelphia Eagle, people, let it go. This is ridiculous. This guy done served his time. He done changed his whole dynamic of who he is. He's not that young kid who thought he was invincible. He's earned the right to do whatever he wants to do, but y'all still want to hang this thing over his head.
It's just a PETA. Don't worry about it.
Seriously. But I'm just you're going to boycott Fox because Michael Vick's there.
Do the people that are boycotting him, do they even watch football?
I don't know.
I don't think Fox does.
But Fox has more than just. They're not. I mean, granted,
but
Fox
it's
Sports,
only 60,000 people.
It's a little small core of PETA. That's pretty much it.
It's not a lot of people. It's not enough people where Fox is even worried about it. There's 60,000 people that wake up angry at anything on any given day.
This is true.
It's not a problem.
This is true.
Remember the people that watch Fox News.
Okay. Well, yeah,
they're used to.
They're angry at all the time. So they're switching over to CNN now?
Yeah, fake news.
Clearly. All right, gentlemen, anything else before we ride out of here today that I may have forgotten about?
No, just come to Old School this next Sunday. September 10th, 11 a.m. to kick off.
Yeah.
Bunch of cool stuff.
We're going to be at the Office Bar, 1989 Ringling Boulevard, Thursday night, getting you all set for the official NFL 2017-2018 season kickoff. Big shout out to Gina Pinto for letting us come down there and take over her bar for a little bit. My main man, Billy Ho, going to be there, man. He was so excited when I saw him. Great dude. We are going to be there. Darrington, man, much love, brother. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate you.
Not a problem at all. I appreciate you having me. Hopefully we can do this some more.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely find some time to get you in here in studio. So for the entire cast of characters, our special guest Darrington Glover, my main man Trent Brinkley for coming in, the great L. Bushman.
Go Noles.
This your man Eric Wilson.
Gators.
Go Lions. Anyhow, Penn State. Thank you. Until next time, we've taken you to a whole nother level. We'll say it.
Learning where your DNA comes from with 23andMe.com might just inspire you to explore your connection to the world, like Kate. 45% of Kate's DNA is from the British Isles, so she took a little bike trip through Scotland. And 10% of her DNA is from North Africa, so she paid a call to Morocco.